But when you gawk yourself, sell your vote, you don't sell your future, but that sell your birthright. How much self? Divide them by 4 years. How much with that? No sell your vote, oh. No matter the thing them they tell you. No matter how the thing they do you. No matter how much money them they give you. No sell your vote, oh. No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They go they won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, no sell your photo. Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the situation, everything harsh for this our nation. Poverty rising and inflation. Line still day for the fuel station. Things gotta change, my determination. This election, no intimidation. Protect your selection, we gotta make sure everybody votes count for the future. For the future.
Shine your eye, well. No let anybody deceive you. No let them take your vote from you. Now your future be that. Yeah. Now your future be that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Together we can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah. One voice. We can make Nigeria better. Oh, yeah.
No sell your vote, oh. No sell your vote. No matter the thing them they tell you. No matter how the thing they do you, no matter how much money them they give you, no sell your vote.
Okay, banya kairu, have quality. I beg you photo. Time don't come again, no. Them done they show their face, so no sell your right, oh. No follow them fight, oh. It's over to you, so no fear, speak up, you yo. So ginger, don't let anybody spoil them for you. The power is in you, no sell ammo for money. No sell your boat, your right, your hoe for fufu.
Kumaiza baku sai ya kare. Duk wani tanadin ku sun shashare. Hankalin ku kar ya bace, gaba ta fi bayewa. Taimaki kanka ki mi rayuwa da inganci.
No need to fight, oh. Because your picking no go join you. They go they won't corner, they laugh you. Oh, no sell your vote for your bad. Hey.
Mommy, daddy, CC, baby, no make mistake today, we go spoil your tomorrow. Mommy, daddy, CC, baby, the time don't come again to go, so make we match go. We go both, we go come to work together. We go both, we go decide our future.
Oh, no matter where you come from, we're part of a great nation, now so everyone sing with me, yeah. From the hilltops of Obudu and Enugu, from the plateaus of Jos and Taraba, from the food baskets of Boko and Otubo, yeah, to the smiling, shining sun in Sokoto, we go photo. From Ondo to Jeba, we go photo. From Port Harcourt to Kaduna, yeah, till no one is left behind. Nigeria is yours and mine. Yeah.
Ngema, alonyaga for together. Ngema, alagweja with each other. Ole male. Votes now only with your PVC, man. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome once again to NOA University Dialogue, the platform where we sensitize, enlighten the populace on government policies, programs, and activities, and we also entertain feedbacks, so that with those feedback, government can properly fine-tune our policies, programs, and activities to suit you, the populace. INEC has announced that the Nigerian next general election in 2023 will commence on February 18, 2023. The first leg of that election will midwife the president, vice president, National Assembly members, talking about the Senate and House of Representatives. After which, 2 weeks later, precisely on the 4th of March, the second leg of the election will take place. That election is going to give birth to 28 out of the 36 states governors and the various House of Assembly members. The election will be the 7th in the series of general elections held since Nigeria returned to civil rule in 1999. Previous elections in Nigeria have been marked with organizational flaws, allegations of fraud, and disputes over results. Now, the 2023 and the 2027 general elections, in particular, were widely adjudged as generally flawed. This forced the Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, the government, civil society groups, and Nigerian development partners to initiate and implement far-reaching electoral reforms. These reforms contributed largely to the success of the 2011 and 2015 general election. Yet, several challenges remain. There were hopes that the 2019 general election will consolidate on the gains made in 2011 and 2015. However, this expectation was dashed, as several accredited election observations groups reported that the credibility of the 2019 general election was tarnished by numerous pitfalls, including several operational shortcomings, lack of transparency, and breach of electoral security. As Nigeria approaches the 2023 general elections, there are growing concerns. Yeah, there are indeed growing concerns that the elections, like previous ones, will be marred by regional tensions. Mark those words, regional tensions, inadequate preparation, and allegation of fraud and violence. These apprehensions are informed by the worsening security problem. Yes, the security situation is worsening. If not tackled, a lot of people, in fact, to resort to voter apathy. People want to stay home. Yes, so identify in previous, now this shortcoming, identify in previous elections, and the increasing tendency of political class to win political power at all costs, mark it, at all costs, I mean, may spell doom for the Nigerian states. Today, we will be discussing 2023 general election expectations and constraints. I have three very sound heads, good heads, I mean, to dissect this topic. And on my far left, I have Barrister Jerome OKERE, legal practitioner and public analyst. Sir, you're welcome, Tenere.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless you.
And just immediately after him, just beside him, we have our brother Mark OSULOR. I refer to him as our brother Mark OSULOR, Ph.D. Voter Education, Rivers State INEC. You're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, and good day, viewers.
And I have just on my immediate side, KIDI ZORBARI, DEKPUGI, Ph.D. is a lecturer with the POLYTECHNIC BORI, Department of General Studies. By the way, he is also biased as a political scientist. Sir, you're welcome to Rivers State Dialogue.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm happy to have you, viewers.
Viewers, you know that the reason why we do this is because of you. It's mainly because of you. It's to enlighten you. It's to sensitize you. It's to keep you on your toe, day by day, week by week, month by month, as we approach the 2023 general election. So your comments are highly elicited. Send in your comments, send in your views. Usually, you know what I used to say now. You can take the form of the presenter, put the question directly to them. They will answer you. And you can also take the form of discussant and answer the questions, but whichever way, just keep the comments coming. My name is Abiye Senmo. I am your anchor person for NOA River State Dialogue today. On a lighter note, let me start with the INEC man in our midst. What is election and leadership succession all about in a democratic setting?
Well, as a member of staff of an agency that is an umpire that is overseeing elections, election is a procedure or a process of electing our would-be leaders to govern us, and you know our process altogether culminates to sustenance of this nascent democracy. On the election day, people will go out to the field to elect their would-be leaders. Then, by so doing, we are supporting the sound democratic process of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Barrister, let me just take you on this. You are the learned man in our midst. Now, vote counting, writing, delivery and announcement of election results at the unit wards, constituency and LGA collation centers have continued to, has constituted major setback in our electoral system. Are there new policy innovation and legal framework to deal with these problems?
But if you say whether there are new policy innovations and legal frameworks, it means that they may not have been anyone existed. But the legal framework has been there, as there are new ones now. Now, if you look at the innovation on the Electoral Act, you find out now that we have gone completely electronic. Now, I cannot allow you vote. Your thumb is not allowed to allow you to participate. You can be given incident form. The social opportunities are no longer there. Now, the question is, how appropriate and how effective is this mechanism? How is it going to work? Our little experience from the beginning, even diversity to the communities and people are not being registered. Now, on the election day, you are expected to allow all those in it to be accredited and allowed to vote, so that their votes can count. But we found that most at times, not even up to 1/10, not even up to 1/4 of the people who participate, because of the inability and the inefficiency of the devices being brought within the locality where you find yourself. A whole lot of issues and problems. And nothing is done to ameliorate those difficulties. So the process of voting, counting voting, and writing results are normal processes within a democratic process. But I am worried. I'm always disturbed each time we use this nomenclature democratic. I differ from people because it's not a democracy. Because the entendlement of what democracy is a whole lot of embodiment which we are not even close to. So this is on the track.
I tend to disagree with him a little. You know why I'm disagreeing with you a little? 2019 elections, we are adjudged to be close to perfection. Now, the legitimacy of our electronic devices has been imputed in the 2022 Electoral Act by Section 4750 sub 2 that has empowered the use of the IVET machine, the BVAS machine for accreditation, and the IREV result viewing portal. And I think we are making progress. And so far, the performance of the IVET machine in capturing and registering people has showcased the enormity of the gear towards the sustenance of this electioneering activity.
Okay, now you talk about innovation.
Yes.
I see that you address innovation.
Yes.
But I still want to, as an INEC personnel, you're very, very curious and inquisitive about laws that has to do with elections.
Exactly.
So I still want to take you, is there any legal framework to deal with? You talked about innovation, the BVAS machine that is in advance with the card reader and all of that. Those are innovations. Now, are there legal framework?
Yes, of course. I've just made mention of the Electoral Act of 2022. Section 47 of the Electoral Act, Section 50 sub 2 of the Electoral Act has given legal backing to usage of these electronics during our processes, pre-election period, election period, and post-election period.
Okay, that is the law now recognizes the
Yes, the usage of
BVAS machine.
Thank you.
Technology.
The IVET machine is called INEC voter enrollment device, while the BVAS machine is called the biometric voter accreditation device. This biometric voter accreditation device will attest your fingerprint. If it is not working, your facials, and it will demonstrate to a liking mode that will ask you to smile to know that you are not a robot. You see, that is the innovations that has been brought to bear to put sanctity into the wish of the masses. As
Begin is not that these innovations are not there.
I'll come back to you, sir. I'll come back to you, sir. Doc.
Yes.
Now, there's a twin problem of vote buying and vote selling. You know, has continued to undermine the outcome of elections in Nigeria. As a stakeholder in the Nigerian project, what do you think accounts for this, and how can this be mitigated?
Okay, that statement is obvious. Buying of votes and selling of it is a serious problem. But the fact of it is the kind of economic system we practice in Nigeria. Over the time, I have said that because we practice what we call capitalist mode of production, where so much emphasis is made on money, it therefore implies that the much money you have, the more you have access to the people. And because there is poverty down the line, people are ready to sell their conscience because of pittance, small amount of money. Capitalist mode of production, which has snowballed into our government system, is affecting the consciousness of people. And so electorates are willing to sell their voting right to somebody who offers them good amount of money. And so to me, that at this, and so this thing keep repeating itself. And so in 2023, you are likely going to see more, because right on the street, people are down suffering. And so money answers most of this problem. Thank you.
Yeah, you just said something. The mode of our production,
Yes.
economic engagement.
Yeah.
Talk about capitalism, where money is emphasized so much. But,
Yes.
would that mean that because what you do today, you are like investing into your future.
Okay.
You elect credible people that can make that economy work, so that you can work and earn money and then create wealth.
Okay.
But otherwise, you're further impoverishing yourself.
Yeah.
Would that, with the hardship, for instance, somebody who has a little bit of enlightenment,
Okay.
we should, sell 500 or 1,000 naira.
Good. And so, like in my institution, I take a course called citizenship education. You come to know that so you see a situation where a good politician comes down with his money and then convince people from what they ordinarily would have done. They will do what he wants. It means he pays and dictates what happens. So my summation here is that a good number of people there are not educated citizens. And so they are out to make money. And so it's definitely going to affect the 2023 general election if a more in-depth conscientization is not done.
Well, I'm coming back. Let's join our correspondents. We do this with the feedback from the local governments. Let's join our correspondents from our East local government, where Mr. Ezekwa Owoma is on standby. Ezekwa Owoma, you're on. Please take it up.
Good morning, Mr. Abie Senibo. Right here in Ahoda town, the Ahoda is local government area. This morning, I have with me Honorable Victor Ezebalike, who is going to share his view on the 2023 general elections, the expectations, and of course, the constraints. Honorable sir, so please, what's your take on that?
Okay, the two parties and
other parties are all very strong in the system, and I believe there will be serious fair play in the election itself, and there will also be the pressure of the ruling party to get at least 60-70%. Okay, and I also believe the other party that lost the other time will also be struggling to get 60 to 70%, which in a very long run there will be serious litigation after the election. And I also believe INEC will really do their work this time.
Okay. Okay.
Then that area about security, I know that there will be serious load on the security system itself to try for them to help cushion the pressure on the election itself, because everybody will be all out to vote, which I know the jingle and publicity about the election is really going far.
Very well.
And persons outside are also muzzling to make sure that they deliver. I believe the election will be a success. Claim one.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Senebo, back to you as we continue with the program.
We're also going to take another correspondent who's on standby from Opopokoro local government, Mrs. Patricia Apiafi. Please take it up. You're on.
Okay.
Thank you, the presenter, Mr. Abie Senebo. My name is Patricia Apiafi, Komo Opopokoro LGA. Our dialogue topic today is 2023 general election, expectations and constraints. And with me here to discuss this topic is Mr. Afini Jiri. Thank you, Mr. Afini Jiri.
Thank you.
Concerning 2023 general election, the forthcoming 2023 general election, what are your expectations? And do you think there will be constraints?
Yes, thank you very much. Of a truth, there will be constraints, because looking at the way the Nigeria is right now, in fact, looking at what is happening in the political environment right now, the game have already started. And back in 2019, we experienced some constraints like inability of card readers to read voters' cards. We experienced insecurity. We experienced shortfalls in election material and corruption on the part of INEC personnel. These were the constraints in 2019 election. And my expectation for this 2023 is that we don't see any of these things. We don't see any of this. We see a situation whereby there is corruption on the part of the INEC, wrong collation of results that doesn't speak the mind of the voters, and all of that. All these things seem to disrupt the election. You see a situation whereby political parties come with their talks to disrupt election process, and so many more. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Over to you, the presenter, Mr. Abie Senebo.
Thank you, Mrs. Patricia Apiafi, for a very insightful report. Sir, let me come back to you. Just before we joined us in, I was going to come to you. Now, do we have improved access to polling units as the 2023 general election approaches? Do we have improved access?
Yes, sir. The Commission, INEC, has conducted what is called voter access to polling units, whereby the polling units were created from the voting points we already had before, and the threshold is 750 per polling unit. If the polling unit is above 750, we're going to create another one. That is what we did electronically without recourse to any stakeholder or any political juggernaut. We used, and it was a success. Last time polling units were created was in 1996, and it generated a lot of uproar among politicians. Who is with INEC and who is not with INEC, and who is inducing this or that. We did this perfectly, and it is acclaimed the best amongst the global world, what we just did. Right now, in Rivers State, we had above 4,000 polling units before, but now it is above 6,000 polling units. We did it without recourse to any stakeholder, and it was enjoyed the best. Now, especially the people living with disabilities, the marginalized groups such as women and the old people, they are vulnerable to any youthful brigandage and any type of election vices ranging from violence and all what's not. The polling units are now closer to everybody. As we are conducting this continuous registration exercise, we are allotting polling would-be registrants to polling units that is closer to them. The exercise of bringing the polling units closer to people had made us to realize that most polling units are positioned in front of chiefs, this person's compound. We've just taken off all those polling units that is closer to people so that we can avert some undue influence. We've made public places the place where we can situate our polling units, and it is there right now. It is the legitimacy of what is did we done as taking judicial notice. The polling units are closer to the people to be able to vote. Those that will trek a long distance on a voting day to go and cast their vote, the polling units have been brought close to the immediate civic centers, religious places, and playgrounds for people to cast their vote easily on the election day.
Thank you. Sir, let me quickly take you on this. These questions, I think everybody will have a bite to eat, but it has to be just snappy. Now, as key stakeholders in the electoral process, it is imperative that Nigeria's political party preparing, to participate in the 2023 general elections are held accountable to the following: A, commit to internal democracy. B, conduct open and transparent fair primaries to select their candidates for elections. C, carry out their campaign devoid of hate, mudslinging, and violence. What's your take, sir?
Okay. Please come again, please.
I take it.
Yeah. The options are commit to internal democracy. Simply put, political parties should be committed to internal democracy. Because grammar confuses. Political parties should commit to internal democracy. They should be transparent in their primaries, and then there should be no hate speech and mudslinging while campaigning. So, what's your take, sir?
It's so clear that this is not achievable. Now, if you look at Section 10, yes, it's not achievable because of elitism, because of high-handedness and intimidation of party leaders. Now, if you look at Section 10 sub 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, it provides the procedure, the methodology in which parties should conduct their primaries. Now, one is a direct system, the other is indirect, and then perhaps the consensus approach. Now, if you look at it, virtually all the political parties, both the big and the small, the method of putting their candidates or choosing their candidates are usually either indirect primaries or consensus. The other one that will be open to everybody, the direct system, is quite dashed. And what happens? The indirect system simply means that you have an electoral college whereby those party executives and a few delegates are chosen to go and elect candidates of their choice. And who own these structures? They are the leaders of the party, the president, the governors, the various party chairmen, and leaders of various local government areas. And then the methods used in putting these party structures in place are not adequate. They are not in any manner transparent that can endear a system where everybody will be seen to be participating freely, a system that can give a free choice of persons. Now, when you now talk of, because I saw one of your guidelines, you were talking of people with civil orientation. Now, how can you now get people with civil orientation in this manner, which simply means those who will follow procedure in doing things, those who are enlightened with high integrity, who will ensure that the rule of law exists, fundamental right is enshrined, and then there is a obedience to constitution. Constitutionalism is the order of the day. These things will be lacking. Now, the party, the hate speech is at random because people are looking at her at way the other in whichever manner. So they dig at your negatives and then begin to attack you in various dimensions. And once that begins from any area, then the other person takes up. And however, there are laws regulating these things. But how often do we enforce them? Are they enforceable? Because the law in Nigeria is made for the poor. The rich are not caught up by the law. So the hate speech can be done by a rich man and nothing happens. But you let a poor man abuse a big man. And then you see what we call defamation and the action, liable action in court. So the system is not workable. The system cannot work because the system is so morbid in nature in such a manner that only those who have the favor of the leadership of the party will definitely emerge in virtually all the parties and all the states of the federation.
Thank you, sir. You made your input to this question. Like I said, we all have right to it. But before I come to you and to take your takes concerning this question, let's also give a sense of belonging to our viewers that are participating with us, even though they are not here with us, they are participating with us. This is from Bridget Junior. The masses expect INEC to have a level playing ground for all the political parties and aspirants in the conduct of elections, an announcement of results based on vote cast at the polls. Oh, thank you very much, Bridget, for your thoughts there. Yeah, that is, exactly, you have a point here. Rosemary Abihad, thank you. This one is from Adus Glad. My expectation in the 2023 general election is that electorate should vote a candidate who has track record, young and vibrant, rather than voting on ethnic line. Thank you very, very much. Our politics is still at that level where we're still grappling with ethnic sentiment, ethnic politics. This is from also Bridget Indemio. Say, part of the constraint is that citizens are bored and tired of seeing the same set of candidates. During campaigns, same set of people rotate in governance. Quickly, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, that is very correct. And that boils down to the point I raised before. A group of persons has taken the instrumentality of government as their personal property and estates.
Personal property
and estates.
Thank you, sir. I'm coming back. I'm still coming. Now, this is from Bigimbo Williams. Citizens' expectations on 2023 elections are high, where all stakeholders will take responsibility and play their roles. According to law, this is the only way forward that will usher in credible pool results. Stakeholders playing their key role.
According to law means the Electoral Act in place, the extant law guiding this procedure to coming for an election. That is why to curb this undue influence and the kind of age over others, INEC has determined to give very big level playing ground to all aspirants and political parties. That is what metamorphosed to the enactment of that Attorney General, according to the verdict of the court at Imo State. We did this to give level playing ground to all contestants and political parties.
Thank you, sir.
Another one, please.
Thank you. I'll come back to you. Let me just take this one. Now, this is in the public on election expectations and challenges. So, thank you very much for that commendation there. This is from Peter Ikabe. As Nigerians, we expect the full intent and purpose of the below section 64(9) of the new electoral act. Sir, you will react to this now. I don't know what that says, but you will react to the section 64(9) of the new electoral act that criminalizes any act of false violation offense, which is liable on conviction to a fine of 500 deterrence for deterrence sake. Sir, what to take? I mean, you're a legal man. Yeah.
That is my worry. I said there are legal frameworks. There has been. The problem putting them, making them legal. Are they not existing before? But how practicable are they? Now, if you say a right officer makes a false declaration, who will come to testify? And then in criminal trial, you must prove that the fact beyond any reasonable doubt. Any doubt that you raise is tilted toward the defendant, because the presumption of innocence by section 36 of 5 is still very obvious and clear. So if you say that's a false declaration, you need to come and prove it to testify. All these things are theoretical. They are legal frameworks.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Electoral offender has been prosecuted. Has that been
extremely difficult, except those who are highly powered persons are involved and they decide to deal with the other. Now, section 10 sub 1 says there should be continuous doing it. Section 10 sub 1. Is that like doing a continuous voters registration?
Of course. Of course.
Now you can come in the difficulty. Now you see the people that before an INEC officer will come to your ward to register persons, you go and spend your money, bring them in to your wards, do what they're supposed to do. You must take care of them. Government is not making any adequate provision. This is supposed to begin once the election is finished. You continue till the next election, except with regards to section 9 sub 6, which is a prohibition, a limitation, say 90 days to the election. 90 days between the election, you are not supposed to continue. You stop. But what is INEC doing? Do they do so many persons won't be registered in this forthcoming election and they won't vote?
So I'm afraid I have to cut you.
Yes.
So let us take our correspondent because she's on standby from Obiako local government. ZORBARI, please, you're on. Let's hear from you.
So much, Mr. Abiesenibo. My name is ZORBARI, reporting from Obiako. Our today's topic is centered on 2023 general elections, expectation and its constraints. Here with me is Mr. Peter Oka. Good afternoon, sir. Please, what do you have to say concerning our topic?
Waiting I want up for this election where they come. Make everybody go register for a voter's card. PVC, get your PVC, now be our power. No be to stay for house. When the election finish, you go find who you go blame. Who you want blame? You want blame me. When it reach time to go vote, you no vote. You register, you no green register. Make everybody get up, both woman, man, the ones who don't reach 18 years old. Go register for this election. Get your card. Make we change. If you say this government where they now say you don't like them, get your card. That election day, make we go there. Go change them. Now when we vote, we go change them. If we no vote, we no go change them. Go collect your PVC. Make una pressurize the ones, those ones where don't they reach 80 years now. Make them go get your card, register. Because now that can be our strength. Without that card, we no go fit do anything. And another advice I want to advise our youth, when they always go to fight during the election, remove your hand from that. All the one where they fight before you don't get anything. You go there, kill your brother, kill your sister. Destroy ballot box, carry run. Kill INEC officers, kill police. What do you be again? You don't gain anything. If you use and change anything. Make una remove our hand from violence. You know they pay. Go back, go register. Or when they come to do election, they wait when they give you 2,000 naira. Make you vote for person when they give you 2,000 and that the way it go finish. What you go use 2,000 naira? Make we vote for person wey go change this country. If you collect bribe, go vote. We will see remain this place where we remain. And my advice be that to my brother and sister. Now, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Mr. Abiesenibo.
Thank you, ZORBARI, for your insightful reporting. Yes, I want to take you on this. How well has the INEC engaged critical stakeholders for an improved voter education and stakeholders engagement as the 2023 general elections, approaches?
Okay, sir. Before I answer that, I will not allow what you pronounce to be raging. I want to say that I doubt it. Section 65 of the Electoral Act 2022 has given INEC 7 days to review any results declared by duress, pronounced by any returning officer that I am declaring this result on duress because I was influenced, I was forced to. INEC has 7 days to review it, which has not been in our established laws before. We have no power to do that. It is only the courts that have the power to review or to question what happened. Now, it has been the new innovation in the Electoral Act that has empowered INEC to review a result that has been declared under duress on the pronouncement of the returning officer. Thank you. We are forging ahead. Now, I want to let you know that we have been engaging on different forums all the critical stakeholders that are going to be involved in 2022 election, ranging from Interconsultative Committee on Election Security that has all the military and paramilitary commands involved, the political parties, women organizations, faith-based organizations, all critical stakeholders, NYSC. Now, because of this incidents of destroying our properties by some regions, there's youthful brigandage emanating from the quest for secessionists in the southeast, emanating from all the results of self-determination. INEC has mapped out all the flashpoints of violence in all the country. The national chairman has had a series of engagements with security operatives in the country. That is why I'm saying, irrespective of the anomaly that is going on now in terms of violence, we are geared towards conducting elections this 2023, not minding, because we've taken cognizance of where it's coming from and the remedy to put in place.
Thank you, sir. I'm coming to you, but before that, let me just take some few comments and I will come to you. This one is from Adus Glam. He said, my constraint is that the card reader should be effective and functional to avoid election manipulations in favor of a particular candidate by INEC. I think that has been discussed. The INEC man has told us there is improvement from card reader to the BVAS, and there is improvement there. This one is from Brandy Anthony. Actually, the expectations of every Nigeria is credible, free and fair election in 2023 with the electronic voting system. Nigerians should be encouraged to get their PVC to enable them vote, to enable them to vote, electronically, and then sound as a constraint. Sorry, I mean to vote electronically. That's what you mean. Thank you, Brandy, for your comment there. This one is from Rosemary Aga. Nigerians have agreed to vote electronically. I hope our machines will not be manipulated to favor the wrong party and candidate. This is another fear. Nigerians will bring in things the way they work in somewhere fantastic, working well for the people. But when we look at the other side of it, not the good side. Now we saw it for good purpose, and then when we bring it, we look at the other side of it. This is a fear. I hope the machines will not be manipulated. In one word, I want you to speak.
It will never be manipulated.
Thank you very much. And so let me come to you. Okay. I want to ask now. There is this question I asked. I said everybody will buy into it.
Yes.
Now, you see, conduct of open, transparent, fair primaries to select candidates. Is it not realizable?
It is realizable. But my position is that the electorate should be conscious, that should be educated, should be orientated. I keep re-emphasizing it. If we can do it, and that's why the emphasis on this PVC, we should have it. We have it and follow up. Because at the extreme, I've told you, those who have money play on our intelligence.
He's talking about party.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Even the party,
yes.
There's a system problem. And those who have money dictate what happens. But I'm saying in 2023, we should be able to know ourselves as educated citizens and know that we will cast our vote and follow up that will get the desired result.
Now, even before we come to cast our vote in the general elections, political parties are the key stakeholders.
Yes.
INEC, as a matter of fact, collaborates with them. No, when I mean collaborate, I'm not talking in the sense of it. Okay. Because whatever INEC is doing is political parties at the center, of what they are doing. So it's not in the other.
I understand.
So the thing is that those people that will contest elections will be selected and given to the people to vote. Now, if that process is faulty and not adhered to, ultimately good governance will never be achieved. That is my point. Look at it from that point.
That is exactly what we're trying to put up here.
Yeah.
If we, the educated citizens, understand to this dimension, then we can conduct the election, can produce the desired candidate of the people. Underline my emphasis, educated citizens. The electorate down there, some of them don't know what is going on. Of course, you should know.
Let me clear this area.
Okay.
The nature of
our time is fast.
The party structure, the nature of our party system is such that the party structure is on the hands of those who are the leaders, and these leaders, because of prebendalism, loyalty, and the rest of them, determine who flag the tickets, and then the choices who the electors have are dependent on those choosing. So they have limited choices. If you come to ABC, they have to choose their person. Yes. The leaders will choose. PDP will choose.
Now, let me understand about INEC.
Now, let me take you this. INEC is going to, monitor these processes.
Yes, that's what I'm
from your experience.
Yes.
What do you see? What do you find out?
Yes, we have the Department of Election Monitoring. That is called the EPM. Where the essence of this is to actually make sure that there is an internal democracy in the selecting of nomination of candidates. One of the checklists we observe during this monitoring session or supervision is not to allow imposture of candidates on the electorates, and not to submerge the people that want to contest as well, other candidates, because most of the governors and the leaders in Abuja would want to make an imposture of candidates on the electorate.
Does it mean that INEC is influencing the party structure?
No. What I'm saying is that we allow level playing ground. We allow sustenance of internal democracy in the nomination of candidates. That is why, so that the electorates will be happy to make their choice. We'll be free. You understand, to make their choice, and we do this according to the extant laws and even the constitution that guide our fatherland. Chapter 4 gives us the fundamental right to belong to any political association, to vie and be voted for.
That is as INEC, done anything different in violence mitigation and conduct of security agents and electoral accountability as 2029 general election approach.
Of course.
What different thing have they done?
Of course, we observed our ethics of our workforce to be transparent in all our doings, to carry everybody along in all our doings during election day, and more so, we've liaised with our major stakeholder, that is the committee that oversees that there is no violence during the electioneering period. That is the ICES, Interconsultative Committee on Election Security. We'll be having series of engagements with them. That is why we could be able to map out all the flashpoints where violence could emanate. You understand? During the elections, we've done that and we are ready. We are on the top gear to conduct this 2023 elections.
Thank you. Let me just go back to our viewers. This one is from Peter Ikabie. Now, the INEC must see to National Collation Center witnesses the sorting, counting, and announcement of result. The INEC must see to it announcement of result. Anything contrary to their vote, a rescheduled election until clear winner emerges. Thank you, Peter Ikabie, for your thoughts there. This one is Glenn Ukomado. Glenn Ukomade of I'm impressed with the program and kudos to NOA River State. Oh, God bless you. God bless you for that. This is
an electoral officer of INEC. Yes, he's in charge of Bonnie. Okay. He's a veteran electoral officer.
This one is from Chiwampara. This one is from Chiwampara. 2023 general election, the level of participation is expected to be high, irrespective of the high level of insecurity. The call and glamour for good governance is high, and its actualization is via the ballot. Thank you for tuning for your thoughts. That's true. I perfectly agree with you. The consensitization is high. The sensitization is high. This one is from Mary Akroma. Everyone is expected to vote, irrespective. Yeah, everyone is expected, irrespective of the high level of insecurity. Election should be free and fair. Oh, Mary Akroma, thank you for your thoughts there. And that's the purpose for this entire program. Why cannot command there are increasing threats to 2023 general election polls and fear that the election may not hold? Reason increasing waves of insecurity and climate of violence, agitation for secession by same violence assertion. Many groups and leaders that the country must be restructured with physical and other powers devolved to the federating unit before election could be held. Sir, I want you to contribute to this one. This fear, this is one of the concerns as a matter of insecurity. No, and then if it's not addressed, there will be apathy. People will be forced to sit at home. So I want
the insecurity is very high. The federal government has failed completely to provide security, which is the core of governance. Because from the beginning, inception of formation of government, the first duty of government is to provide security. So the that thing can build upon it, but it's complete failure. Now, but that won't stop the election in any manner. It won't stop it. It's still because we have seen this in several instances. People who vote, there's high level party apathy, but since then it's going on. But apathy is there not just because of insecurity alone, and because of the poor performance and lack of leadership of those who also occupy positions. The willingness of the people to vote as the people and the fear that with their vote count, these are all issues bothering and then which are militating against free and fair election. So many persons are worried that with election be free and fair, but all those problems will not stop the election. There will be election, there will be creation of resource. But what I'm saying is that the process, the high expectation of democracy is not to be achieved in any manner. It will not be anything much different from what we have been experiencing because there are a lot of limitations already in place. Yes.
There, however, how can you find a perfect system?
Exactly.
Anywhere. And so you said elections will hold.
Yeah.
That is the key thing. Now, this is from Give Sunday. Our youth should be educated on the implications of allowing these politicians use them to cause problems during election. Let's join our hands to make this country free from this hardship. We are. Anyway, keep up the good work. Youths around themselves. There's a lot. And all of that. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, that law. I am not too pleasant with it because it comes up, but its implementation, like the lawyer said, is a problem. Allowing the youth to participate in election now is costly. It's very, very costly. And so ordinarily, a youth must definitely go to a godfather and seek for support. And when you get to a godfather and seek for support, you become extraordinarily loyal to whoever sponsors you.
Thank you. Let me just take this last comment and I'll come back for your last words. This one will be my last comment for today. Dialogue, and it's from Emmanuel Williams. This is very important discussion that the society needs to create public awareness concerning the forthcoming general election, and it's an avenue for sensitization of the voters' registration exercise. Voters registration exercise. Comrade Williams Manuel, National Coordinator of the. Oh, thank you very much, Comrade. Thank you for your thoughts here. So, sir, what's your parting word? I want you to look into the camera and talk to the viewers.
My parting word is to INEC to first and foremost do away with theory. There are a whole lot of enabling laws that can bring effective and efficient election, make it free and fair, but they are much theoretical. INEC is far from implementing these provisions of the law. I have stated here that we are talking of continuous voters registration. Are we achieving it? So many persons may not be opportunity to vote because they don't have opportunity to register. They are not found in all the places all the time whenever these persons participate to register themselves because those persons are up to 18 and cannot register. So they should do away with theories, those provisions in the electoral act and the constitution, and see how they can implement them to enable this make it a worthwhile for the people.
Your parting words to the
people. Yeah, my parting words to the public is those that have registered at the first quarter, second quarter of this episode of CVR should go and get your permanent voters card. You go to the local government offices of INEC in the LGS or get to the local government and know where the IVED machine is capturing people at the wards to RAs. There is a schedule of the movement of IVED machines to communities. There and there, they are as well issuing these PVCs, permanent voters card. Those that transferred, those that had defaced cards that applied to produce their cards back, those that did update as regards their age, their names, should wait. Their PVCs are on the way coming. The Commission has not issued any policy statement towards that. But I am sure that after June, that the CVR will stop, they will produce your permanent voters cards. Go get your permanent voters card. Do not sell it because Section 22, 23 of the Electoral Act will come against you. If you sell it, if you give it to any other person to hold for you, Section 22, 23 of the Electoral Act will fight you to a corner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My parting words is that INEC as an institution is ready, willing, and prepared to conduct the 2023 election. Despite the security problem and other challenges, they should continue to sensitize the electorate so that the right thing will be done. At the extreme, we will change the government because that's what the election is expected to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, viewers, sorry, this is where we're wrapping it up for today's dialogue. You know, time, when discussions like this are, time is of essence, the time begins to fly. I want to, on behalf of the National Nutrition Agency of Rivers State, appreciate everyone that participated in today's Rivers State dialogue. First, I want to thank Barrister Jerome OKERE, a legal practitioner and public analyst. Sir, we thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your coming. We don't take it for granted.
Thank you, sir.
And we know next time you will oblige us.
I will.
And I want to also appreciate and thank our friend, Mr. Mark OSULOR. Mr. Mark OSULOR is a HOD Voters Registration INEC. He's coming for the second time. He's our friend. Sir, I want to thank you.
Thank you very much
for obliging us.
Thank you.
I know you're a family member now. You always want to come.
Yes, sir.
And I also want to thank the doctor in our midst, who is also a political scientist, a lecturer in Kent Poly. Sir, I appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
We didn't take it for granted.
Thank you.
We know you will oblige us next time.
I will always.
And then viewers, you are the reason why we're here. I always tell you that you are the reason why we do this thing. Is for you, it's not for us. So I know time constraint. There are some persons who will not be able to take your comments and questions. Please forgive us. It's a continuum. We're not ending today. This topic you're seeing is a huge topic that we can stay here to discuss for even 7 hours. We cannot exhaust it. Yeah. Therefore, I am telling you on behalf of the agency that this is just a part one. We are coming next Friday to continue with this topic. So begin now to put yourself together, make your findings, make your everything to participate. Until we come your way, again, next time, same time next week. I want you to stay safe and get your PVC. Let nobody deceive you.
PVC doesn't expire.
This PVC is your strength and your voice. They say votes do not count. Get it. Politicians who are about to buy it. That's to tell you that it is a thing of value. It is valuable. So get it and get set. Until we come your way, next time, stay safe. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.